Welcome to our deep dive into three of the most crucial micronutrients for human health: iron, iodine, and vitamin A. These nutrients play vital roles in everything from energy production and brain development to vision and immunity. Yet, deficiencies remain a global concern, affecting billions and impacting lives in profound ways. In this video, we'll explore why these nutrients are so important, how they function in the body, what happens when we don't get enough, and how we can ensure adequate intake. Let's begin our journey by understanding the basics of why minerals and vitamins matter so much for our well-being. Iron is essential for life. It's a key component of hemoglobin and myoglobin, the proteins responsible for transporting and storing oxygen in our bodies. About 80% of our body's iron is found in these proteins, ensuring that every cell gets the oxygen it needs to function. Iron also supports energy metabolism, the synthesis of neurotransmitters, and the production of hormones. Without enough iron, our muscles weaken, our minds slow, and we feel persistently tired. Iron's importance extends from infancy through adulthood, making it a cornerstone of good health. Iron's functions go far beyond oxygen transport. It's a cofactor in numerous enzymes, including those involved in energy production, DNA synthesis, and the metabolism of nutrients and toxins. Iron-dependent proteins help generate ATP, the energy currency of our cells, and are crucial for brain function and immune defense. The body tightly regulates iron, storing it in proteins like ferritin and distributing it via transferrin to where it's needed most. This careful balance ensures we have enough iron for vital processes, while protecting tissues from the damaging effects of excess free iron. Iron absorption is a finely tuned process. Dietary iron is released from food in the stomach and absorbed mainly in the small intestine. The body prefers the ferrous Fe2+ form, and special enzymes help convert other forms for absorption. Once inside the intestinal cells, iron can be stored, used, or transported into the bloodstream. The hormone hepcidin, produced by the liver, plays a central role in regulating how much iron enters the circulation. When iron stores are low, hepcidin decreases, allowing more iron to be absorbed. When stores are high or during infection, hepcidin rises, limiting absorption to protect the body. Iron requirements change throughout life. Infants, children, and pregnant women have higher needs due to rapid growth and development. For women of reproductive age, menstrual blood loss increases iron demands. During pregnancy, iron supports the growing fetus placenta and increased blood volume. After birth, infants rely on iron stores accumulated during pregnancy, which can be boosted by delaying cord clamping. As children grow, their iron needs rise, especially during puberty. Understanding these changing requirements helps prevent deficiency at critical stages. Iron is found in a variety of foods, but not all sources are equal. Animal-based foods like meat, fish, and eggs provide heme iron, which is more easily absorbed by the body. Plant-based sources such as beans, nuts, and dark green vegetables contain non-heme iron, which is less efficiently absorbed. Fortified cereals and grains also contribute to iron intake, especially in populations at risk of deficiency. Cooking methods and even the type of cookware can influence iron content in food. A balanced diet with diverse sources helps ensure adequate iron intake. Not all dietary iron is absorbed equally. The body's need for iron is the main driver of absorption, but other dietary factors play a role. Vitamin C and certain amino acids enhance non-heme iron absorption, while compounds like phytates in grains and legumes, polyphenols in tea and coffee, and calcium can inhibit it. The balance of enhancers and inhibitors in a meal determines how much iron is actually taken up. Understanding these interactions can help optimize iron nutrition, especially for those relying on plant-based diets. Health authorities set dietary reference values, DRVs, for iron based on age, sex, and physiological status. For example, adult men require about 11 mg per day, while premenopausal women need up to 16 mg due to menstrual losses. Children and adolescents have varying needs as they grow. During pregnancy and lactation, requirements increase further. These values help guide dietary planning and public health policies to prevent iron deficiency and ensure optimal health across populations. Iron deficiency rarely occurs in isolation. It often accompanies other nutritional deficits and is commonly caused by blood loss, poor dietary intake, or malabsorption. Rapid growth, pregnancy, and certain health conditions increase risk. In some regions, intestinal parasites are a major cause of blood loss and iron depletion. Diets low in bioavailable iron, excessive milk intake in toddlers, or chronic diseases can all contribute. Recognizing these causes is key to effective prevention and treatment strategies. Iron deficiency can manifest in many ways, often subtly at first. Early signs include fatigue, weakness, and impaired concentration. In children, it can cause delayed development, poor attention, and behavioral issues. Severe deficiency leads to anemia, characterized by pale skin, shortness of breath, and rapid heartbeat. Other symptoms may include brittle nails, hair loss, and increased susceptibility to infection. Because these symptoms overlap with other conditions, proper diagnosis is essential. Children are particularly vulnerable to iron deficiency, which can have lasting effects on brain development and cognitive function. Iron-deficient infants and toddlers may show poor memory, reduced social interactions, and delayed motor skills. These deficits can persist even after iron levels are restored, highlighting the importance of early prevention. Ensuring adequate iron intake during pregnancy and infancy is critical for healthy growth and lifelong learning potential. In adults, iron deficiency often presents as chronic fatigue, reduced work capacity, and impaired cognitive performance. Women of reproductive age are at higher risk due to menstrual blood loss. In severe cases, iron deficiency can lead to decreased physical endurance and productivity, affecting both personal and economic well-being. Recognizing and addressing iron deficiency in adults is essential for maintaining energy, focus, and overall quality of life. Not all anemia is caused by iron deficiency alone. Chronic diseases, infections, and inflammation can disrupt iron metabolism, leading to a condition known as anemia of chronic disease, ACD. In ACD, iron is trapped in storage sites and unavailable for red blood cell production, even if total body iron is adequate. This is often due to increased hepcidin levels, which block iron release. Managing ACD requires addressing the underlying condition, not just supplementing iron. Diagnosing iron deficiency involves more than just measuring hemoglobin. Serum ferritin is the best indicator of iron stores, with levels below 15 μg/L suggesting deficiency. Other tests, such as transferrin saturation and soluble transferrin receptor, help distinguish between iron deficiency and anemia of chronic disease. Inflammation can raise ferritin levels, masking deficiency, so markers like C-reactive protein are sometimes used for clarification. Accurate assessment guides effective treatment and monitoring. While deficiency is common, excess iron can also be harmful. Acute overdoses, especially from supplements, can cause intestinal damage, shock, and even death. Chronic overload is rare with normal diets but can occur in genetic conditions like hemochromatosis. Excess iron may also promote infections by providing fuel for bacteria. Therefore, iron supplementation should be carefully managed, especially in populations at risk of infections or with underlying health issues. Treatment of iron deficiency typically involves oral supplementation with iron salts, such as ferrous sulfate or ferrous fumarate. Dosages vary depending on severity and individual needs. In some cases, addressing underlying causes like infections or other nutrient deficiencies is necessary for effective treatment. For pregnant women, supplementation is recommended only when anemia is confirmed. Monitoring response to therapy ensures safety and effectiveness. Addressing iron deficiency at the population level requires broad strategies. These include improving public health and sanitation, promoting iron-rich diets, fortifying staple foods, and controlling infections and parasites. Education and community engagement are key to success. Tailoring interventions to local needs and monitoring outcomes help ensure sustainable improvements in iron status and overall health. Having explored iron, we now turn our attention to another essential micronutrient, iodine. Like iron, iodine is critical for health, especially for brain development and metabolism. Yet, iodine deficiency remains a concern in many parts of the world, with significant consequences for individuals and societies. Let's discover why iodine matters and how we can ensure adequate intake. Iodine is a vital component of thyroid hormones, which regulate growth, development, and metabolism. These hormones are especially important during pregnancy and early life, as they drive brain and neurological development. Without enough iodine, the thyroid cannot produce adequate hormones, leading to a range of health problems. Ensuring sufficient iodine intake is crucial for lifelong health and cognitive potential. Despite progress, iodine deficiency still affects millions worldwide, particularly in school-aged children and pregnant women. Salt iodization programs have dramatically reduced the prevalence of deficiency, but some countries have seen a resurgence due to changes in dietary habits and food processing. Monitoring and maintaining adequate iodine status remains a public health priority to prevent cognitive and developmental impairments. Severe iodine deficiency leads to well-known disorders such as goiter, cretinism, and intellectual disabilities. Goiter is an enlargement of the thyroid gland, while cretinism results in profound mental and physical impairment. In children, severe deficiency can cause a loss of 12-13 IQ points, affecting educational and economic prospects. These effects highlight the critical need for adequate iodine, especially during pregnancy and early childhood. The effects of mild to moderate iodine deficiency are less obvious but still significant. Recent studies link low maternal iodine status during pregnancy to reduced IQ, reading, and spelling ability in children. Even in developed countries, mild deficiency can impact cognitive development and educational attainment. These findings underscore the importance of maintaining adequate iodine intake, not just preventing severe deficiency. Recommended iodine intake varies by age and life stage. Adults need about 150 μg per day, while pregnant and lactating women require up to 250 μg to support increased hormone production and fetal development. Some countries have not updated their guidelines to reflect these higher needs during pregnancy, which can put mothers and babies at risk. Ensuring adequate intake before and during pregnancy is especially important. While deficiency is a concern, excessive iodine intake can also cause problems, including thyroid dysfunction. Adults should avoid intakes above 1,000 μg per day, and pregnant women should stay below 600 μg. Some seaweeds and supplements can provide very high levels of iodine, so it's important to be cautious, especially for those with underlying thyroid conditions or in regions with variable iodine content in foods. Iodine status is best assessed using biomarkers like urinary iodine concentration, as food content can vary widely. Population surveys use median urinary iodine to classify sufficiency, with values below 100 μg/L indicating deficiency in children and adults. Other markers, such as thyroglobulin and thyroid size, provide additional information. Regular monitoring helps identify at-risk groups and guide public health intervention. Universal salt iodization is the most effective strategy for preventing iodine deficiency. By adding iodine to all salt for human and animal consumption, countries have dramatically reduced goiter and related disorders. However, not all processed foods use iodized salt, and some regions lack comprehensive programs. Balancing salt reduction for cardiovascular health with adequate iodine intake is an ongoing challenge for public health. In addition to salt, other foods can be fortified with iodine. Some countries require bread to be made with iodized salt, and dairy products can be enriched through farming practices. These measures help improve iodine status, especially in populations with low salt intake or changing dietary habits. Careful selection of fortification vehicles ensures broad coverage and effectiveness. Where salt iodization is insufficient, iodine supplements are recommended for women planning pregnancy, pregnant, or breastfeeding. A daily supplement of 150 μg is advised by several international bodies. Kelp and seaweed supplements are not recommended due to variable and sometimes excessive iodine content. Optimizing iodine stores before conception is ideal for supporting maternal and fetal health. Iodine content in foods depends on the source. Seafood and seaweed are naturally rich in iodine, while milk and dairy products are major sources in many countries due to farming practices. Eggs also contribute, but cereals and bread may not, depending on processing. Supplements can help, but their quality and iodine content vary. A varied diet with reliable sources is the best way to ensure adequate intake. Certain foods, known as goitrogens, can interfere with iodine uptake and thyroid function. These include cassava, cabbage, broccoli, and soy products. Goitrogens only pose a risk when iodine intake is low. Other nutrients, like selenium and iron, are also important for thyroid health. In regions with multiple deficiencies, combined interventions may be needed for optimal thyroid function. Iodine deficiency has re-emerged in some developed countries due to changes in dietary habits, reduced milk consumption, and lack of iodized salt in processed foods. National surveys have revealed mild deficiency in groups previously considered sufficient, such as schoolgirls in the UK. This highlights the need for ongoing monitoring and adaptation of public health strategies. Iodine is essential for thyroid function, brain development, and overall health. Deficiency, especially during pregnancy, can have lasting effects on cognitive and economic outcomes. Ensuring adequate intake through diet, fortification, or supplementation and regular monitoring of population status are key strategies for prevention. Public health policies must remain vigilant to changing dietary patterns and emerging risks. Now let's shift our focus to vitamin A, another essential nutrient with wide-ranging effects on vision, immunity, and development. Vitamin A deficiency remains a leading cause of preventable blindness and increases the risk of disease and death, especially among children in developing countries. Let's explore the forms, functions, and importance of vitamin A in our diets. Vitamin A comes in two main forms: preformed vitamin A, retinol and retinol esters from animal sources, and provitamin carotenoids like beta-carotene from plant foods. Animal sources include liver, dairy, and fish, while colorful fruits and vegetables provide carotenoids. Both forms must be converted in the body to active forms that support vision, gene expression, and immune function. The story of vitamin A began in the early 20th century, when scientists discovered that certain factors in milk and vegetables were essential for growth and vision. Over the decades, researchers identified the chemical structure, isolated pure vitamin A, and revealed its role in the visual cycle. These discoveries paved the way for understanding vitamin A's critical functions and the global fight against deficiency. Vitamin A from food is absorbed in the small intestine with the help of dietary fat and enzymes. Retinol is stored mainly in the liver, while carotenoids are also stored in fat tissue. The body releases vitamin A as needed, transporting it in the blood bound to retinol-binding protein. Efficient absorption and storage are vital for maintaining adequate levels, especially during periods of increased demand. Vitamin A is essential for vision, particularly night vision, as it forms part of the pigment rhodopsin in the retina. It also supports growth and development, gene expression, and immune defense by maintaining healthy epithelial tissues. Deficiency impairs these functions, leading to vision problems, increased infection risk, and developmental issues. Adequate vitamin A is crucial for health at every stage of life. Vitamin A needs vary by age, sex, and life stage. Infants, children, and pregnant or breastfeeding women have higher requirements to support growth and development. For adults, the recommended dietary allowance is 900 mg per day for men and 700 mg for women. Meeting these needs is especially important during periods of rapid growth and for maintaining healthy vision and immunity. Vitamin A deficiency is a major public health issue in many developing countries, leading to night blindness, increased infection risk, and even death in severe cases. In children, deficiency can cause xerophthalmia, a condition that can progress to permanent blindness. Pregnant women with low vitamin A are at higher risk of complications and poor outcomes for their bodies. Addressing deficiency through diet and supplementation is a global priority. While deficiency is dangerous, too much performed vitamin A can also be toxic. Excess intake from supplements or animal sources can cause liver damage, vision changes, and other health problems. High doses of beta-carotene supplements have been linked to increased cancer risk in smokers. However, large amounts of carotenoids from foods are generally safe. Moderation and balance are key to safe vitamin A nutrition. The best indicator of vitamin A status is liver stores, but this is not practical for most people. Instead, serum retinol and relative dose response tests are used to estimate status. These tests help identify deficiency or excess and guide interventions. Accurate assessment is especially important in vulnerable groups like children and pregnant women, where the consequences of deficiency are most severe. Vitamin A's role in cell growth and gene expression has led to research on its potential in cancer prevention. While observational studies suggest benefits from dietary carotenoids, high-dose supplements have not shown the same effect and may even be harmful in some groups. The safest approach is to obtain vitamin A from a balanced diet rich in both animal and plant sources, rather than relying on supplements. A century after its discovery, vitamin A remains a focus of research. Scientists are exploring how different forms and metabolites affect health, and how individual differences influence absorption and conversion of carotenoids. Understanding these factors will help refine recommendations and interventions, especially in populations at risk of deficiency. Ongoing research aims to optimize vitamin A nutrition for everyone. Iron, iodine, and vitamin A are essential nutrients with profound impacts on health, development, and quality of life. Deficiencies can lead to anemia, cognitive impairment, blindness, and increased disease risk. Ensuring adequate intake through diet, fortification, and supplementation, along with regular monitoring, is vital for individuals and populations. Public health efforts must adapt to changing diets and emerging challenges to protect and promote well-being. As we conclude, remember that nutrition is the foundation of health. By understanding the roles of iron, iodine, and vitamin A, we can make informed choices for ourselves and our communities. Whether through balanced diets, fortified foods, or targeted supplementation, ensuring adequate intake of these vital nutrients supports growth, learning, and lifelong vitality. Stay informed, eat well, and help build a healthier future for all.